All right, welcome to Table Talk here at the Philadelphia Sports Table Podcast Show, the longest-running weekly Philly sports podcast show in the world. Over 12 and a half years strong this April. It will be 13 years of doing this podcast. Longtime listeners, we thank you for joining us. As always, if you're new to listening to us, you can always head on over to PhiladelphiaSportsTable.com if you're watching on YouTube. Hello to you. We got a ton of Sixers talk coming your way this week on Table Talk, and joining us is one of our favorite guests. We love him. He is from the Honorable Mention podcast. He also joined us this past Eagles season on a bunch of our Eagles postgame podcast shows as well. One of our favorite Philly sports fans out there, Mr. Matt Rogers. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. A little bit of the slow season before the Phillies start breaking our hearts. We can watch the Sixers, and you at this point of the year, you got to decide how much you're going to invest of your emotional I guess
your
bank account. Yes. And I'm only spending on a scale of 1 to 10. I know you didn't ask me. It was 0 to 10 on how much I'm invested in this Sixers team.
Yes.
Surprisingly, I'm at about a 4.5.
Are you
a lot higher? Than reasonable or good for me. But I am interested this year.
I'm at about a 7.5, dude. I'm at about a 7.5 at this point. Why? Because I'm the eternal optimist on this podcast platform. I'm the eternal optimist when it comes to Philly sports, always thinking that something good is around the corner, something good is going to happen. And look, I mean, to start us off here, Matt, after what seems like over a year of just pure and adulterated criticism and narratives that his career is just about over, Joel Embiid, my goodness, this man, he really does look like he is one of the best players in the NBA, and that's why I'm at like a 7.5 at this point. We are seeing that he is still elite when he's healthy, and that is the key word here, quote, healthy. That's always the key word with Embiid. But Matt,
it is.
What are your thoughts on the Joel Embiid narrative from just a few months ago to where we are at today? Months ago, things were sounding very different from the fan base. We felt different. All of it felt different for the Sixers. Now, just a few months down the road, we're all thinking, oh boy, this could be pretty good. Like I said, I'm at a 7.5 in terms of my optimism with this team. What are your thoughts here with the Embiid narrative?
I think, again, this season is just a microcosm of who Joel Embiid has been. Is when he's on the floor, he's arguably one of the top 25, easily 50 best players to ever, put basketball shoes on. But that when he's healthy is about half of the time. So
yeah,
it's really tough to create expectation around Joel Embiid because you just never know if he's going to be healthy thing really materialize, when that's going to materialize. So I think that the hopeful thing as it relates to Joel Embiid is if he can play half of the rest of the games and play. I mean, I didn't know that he would get back to this, MVP level play that he can play at. But if he can show some of that going into the summer, then the Sixers really can have an opportunity potentially to try to, if they wanted to, even move off the contract. It was looking like a couple months ago, talking about the narrative and all that. There's no way that they would be able to trade this $80 million contract.
Right.
Nobody's taking that. Now,
right.
We've seen glimpses again, and that's back in play. So that's a reason to be hopeful for maybe just not this Sixers season, but the outlook moving forward 2, 3, 4 years.
I wonder if not only the 76ers medical staff, but Joel Embiid as well, Matt. Yeah, it's just piggybacking off of what you just said. I wonder if everybody is starting to feel like they're understanding how to manage his health, because again, like I'm getting that feeling for some reason. It's like the criticism, the negativity surrounding the start of the season with him, even where things were towards the end of December. And they're like, man, this guy just never going to be the same again. But they were managing his health for those months. I mean, he was being managed in a way, whether it was himself, medical staff, whoever it was. I feel like they're better managed. his health was better managed this time around to get him back to form, if that makes sense. And there's some optimism I have, I guess, even thinking that. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I have optimism thinking that could be a possibility.
It could, but I just think that some folks are just predisposed
like if he has cinnamon sticks in his knees, he's got cinnamon sticks in his knees, right?
They can, you can manage that as well as you can do a great job of managing it, but you still have to manage it. I mean, there's some guys who are just Iron Men, these Cal Ripken kind of guys who, sure, they get bumped and bruised, but they can still push through. Some guys are just not. It's part of sports. It's an underrated part of sports. Just ability to withstand injuries or avoid injuries. There are some guys in football who just know how to take a hit. Yep. It's tough with Joel Embiid. That is the part of the Sixers. I see all Joel Embiid for me looking at the Sixers, and maybe this could be helpful for some of your listeners. I look at everything Joel Embiid does as, we're having a Sunday. Joel Embiid's the jimmies, the whipped cream, the drizzle on top. Yep. He is not the base of this banana split, folks.
Right.
He's not. If that is the base, then you're going to be left wanting. But for me, I'm seeing, and we can get into this later, but it's the rest of the team that's giving me. I mean, I love to see Joel Embiid cook. I mean, it's just so great. Yes. The way that he just does the dipsy-do kind of shots. He's just a superbly talented individual. I just can't talk about the emotional investment a few minutes ago, folks. Yeah, I can't do too much with that.
I feel you. I feel you too. I really do. I mean, look, dovetailing off what Joel Embiid has done this season, and I believe it's over 29 points per game he's averaging so far this year, and how much of his health hinges on how this team really can move forward, Matt. It seems like no one really knows what the Sixers front office wants to do in the future. And that's where I really want to dive into next with you in terms of this particular storyline. Because one could say they're built to win now. We've heard that narrative. We know that narrative. You could also say they're in a mode of reconstruction for the future as well. And the front office, they continue to say, we're all in. They're all in. But there's always some bit of trepidation as it relates to the salary tax. And I just, it just bothers me in a way. Like, if you're all in, you are going to spend money. And I know they have spent money. Don't get me wrong, but I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on how the front office has really operated as of late? And is there a strategic plan you think that we might not actually be seeing at this point?
I think this was one of those wait and see bridge years. And it's in the life of a franchise. I think it's important every now and then to let your team play out one of these bridge years to really decide whether you need to go all in. This year, they really need to see if they could keep George on the court. Now, they were doing a good job of that until we'll get into some of that later.
Yeah.
They were keeping Joel on the court, really hit it out of the park with Edgecombe. The move at the break to move Jared McCain kind of tells me that they're more looking to the future. But still leaving the door open, not, jettisoning some of the top pieces to try to, break it down to build it back up right now. I think they're kind of trying to play it in between the middle. I don't think that they're going all in, but I also don't think that they're a rebuilding team.
Yeah.
I think Morey, if you gave Morey the true serum, I think Morey would say, I'm counting this year. If we get to the second round, that's a win.
I think, you know what? I had a gentleman on here weeks ago, our good friend of the show too, Josh Rodriguez from the Dime podcast with Josh and Quab. And he was like, it would not surprise me at all if the Sixers get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I almost I almost fell out of my seat here. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I could see it. I would be surprised, but it's not unforeseable that they could get to the conference finals
because there is a danger. There's
right.
a danger. Yes, there is a danger that is there with this team. They do look dangerous at times. Not in the third quarter. Not in the third quarter at all. But they look dangerous every now and again. And it just, it drives me crazy. We're gonna get look. Let's get to the next topic here, okay? Before we go to a break,
Yeah.
because I wanted to really get your thoughts here on what the biggest disappointment of the season is. And I think the majority of us can say that Paul George's 25-game suspension, probably the biggest disappointment of the season, as Joel Embiid has really now just, again, playing at an elite level. Aside from that storyline of Paul George and his suspension, Matt, what do you think the biggest disappointment with the Sixers on the court so far has been this season, and why?
Well, I'll give you two. I don't know what went wrong in the development with Jeremy McCain before he got jettisoned off to Oklahoma City. So I don't really know what happened there, but I really liked Jared McCain as a player. I thought
Same
he could
here.
develop well and be a good, if they weren't going to thinking that he could, round into form as a good starting guard, at least coming off the bench. But okay. But that the other thing, it doesn't seem like they're not developing him or he's not developing himself. I'm concerned that a Dembona can't put the ball on the floor at all.
Yeah.
Like if he's out there, I love what he brings from a defensive perspective and with the energy and all that.
Leading the team in blocks.
It's excellent. But he makes Dikembe Mutombo look like Kevin Durant. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so, if I had this, because you knocked off the obvious disappointment. I mean, It's very, what Paul George did to this team, just to speak on it, is very akin to what Jose Alvarado did to the Phillies last year. He's not, the biggest part of the team, but he takes some load off of the other guys. And I think that's
a good correlation. Yeah.
Because, he's going to fill in some innings, take some minutes off the floor, put some buckets, take some load off the guys. And I think later in the year, because of the extra minutes that other people are going to have to play, more minutes on the floor for Trenton Watford, more minutes on the floor for Kelly Oubre. I think it wounds the team more than you would look at it, especially if you're looking at it like from a 2K perspective. Like, who is Paul George at this point?
Right.
But in a rotation, you need those guys who were. Paul was playing well. He was finally, for the expectation that Sixers fans had, he was doing exactly. Now, why was he doing exactly what he was supposed to be doing?
Yep.
And I know you didn't want to get into it too much, so we can.
Go ahead.
I'll leave it at this because I this is just my personal aside, not exactly sports. I feel like very rarely, other than like Andy Pettit, does anybody just say like, take the L. Like, oh yeah, I took PEDs. I was trying. Ha, y'all caught me. But, so I don't like his explanation. And I fear that it trivializes the issue. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. It's a good point. Honestly, it's a good point. And with that, folks, we are going to take a break here. But again, we're talking to Matt Rogers from the Honorable Mention Podcast. I listen on Apple Podcasts. You can also check out the Honorable Mention Podcast on YouTube. You can subscribe there. Matt's always got great guests on, talking the world of Philly sports, Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, and that being said, we're going to take a break. Actually, before that, if anybody wants to follow you on the socials, I know you've been off and on the socials like most of us every now and again. You want to promo anything, my friend?
Sure. You can follow me over on Threads. It's a lot of fun. NBA Threads, NFL Thread. It's POLITIDOPE. It's said Politidope. It's my old handle I've used for many years now.
Yep.
Not the same type of content as the people who've been following me for a long time, but I think I still have a good time over on the socials. Thank you. And also go subscribe on the Philly Honorable Mention Philly Sports Podcast.
Yeah.
Honorable Mention, a Philly Sports Podcast.
There you go, folks. Always good content over there. We are going to take a break, and when we get back, a lot more Sixers talk coming your way. All right, we're back with our good buddy Matt Rogers from the Honorable Mention podcast. Again, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. If you're on YouTube, search out the Honorable Mention podcast. Give Matt a subscription. You will not regret it. Let's get into some player grades now, my friend. I love doing grading with you. We do it during the course of the Eagles season when you're on doing post-game shows with our Eagles post-game shows when we're grading by positions. But I want to grade some of the players here on this Sixers team as we're midway through February. Going to give a few names here. Let's give a grade and a brief explanation as to why you gave that grade. I'd like to start with a guy who I've absolutely loved watching. I think we're going to be giving him a high grade, VJ Edgecombe. What grade do you give him and why?
Well, if you're grading him on a curve because he's a rookie, I'm giving him like a 91.
Definitely I was actually going to give him an A-. I was going to give him an A-. Yes.
It just as in terms of as a player, he's at the lowest I would even say is reasonable is B-.
Yeah.
Taking away the qualifier of being a rookie. I mean, he's grown so much from even where he was in college. There were a lot of things that people said, oh, he'll need to work on this. He'll need to work on this to be a consistent starter. He really reminds me sometimes of like Jimmy Butler, early Jimmy Butler, things like that. I mean, it's his mental makeup that's really good. The team really knocked it out of the park with. So you think the same about A?
I was thinking A-. I was thinking
Yeah.
A- for his rookie season here. You have to think what rookies go through in this league, and every league is different. You know, in baseball leagues, you got rookies coming up through the minor leagues. They're developing. In the NFL, they're kind of just thrown into this wide open ocean water. They're trying to swim for their lives, much like I think how it is in the NBA as well. But you have that much more of a microscope on you because there's only 5 guys on the court, at all time. And I think that he has shown poise. And I think through that showing of poise, we've seen a maturity. He does play some mature basketball at times. Sure, he makes some mistakes every now and again, but I think we're seeing the development of a fantastic NBA player. And for his rookie season, I think A- is absolutely fair.
They're so lucky. I mean, and that's what gives them the flexibility that we were speaking to earlier on, the first half of the show, Jeff, is they can just sit back and watch how Edgecombe grows, because if Edgecombe continues to grow at this rate, they may be set in a couple of years. They, after the Embiid, they'll have the Embiid years, but then you have Maxi Edgecombe. I mean,
yes,
DJ Max.
Absolutely.
So have you heard that one?
That'll be fun. Yes, I love it. That'll be fun. Let's move to this next player. This is going to be an interesting one. Kelly Oubre Jr. What grade would you give him and why?
He was the toughest of the people to grade, I think, because the fluctuations in his game.
Yes.
I gotta give him a C though, because on some nights
I was going to go B-. I was going to go B-.
Yep. So some nights he's definitely B-.
Yes.
And some nights he's you wonder if he's out there.
I know.
And so on average, if it was grading his midterm right now, I'd give him a 76, 77.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He shows these flashes that he has also matured as a player. He doesn't play the way he did when he was in Washington. He takes the assignments very seriously and is not just firing off shots just to look cool. So I love the progression in his game. It's going to be this is a really pivotal time now for and a lot of eyes are going to be on him. Everybody knows what happened with Paul George. Everybody knows he's going to be getting more minutes now.
Yep.
So it's going to be really interesting, but I got to give him thus far what he has put on the average of what he has done so far. For me, I got to give him a solid C.
Okay. I'm going to stick with my B- because I find that, yes, when it comes to his weaknesses, I think at times he has tunnel vision out there. He can struggle passing, finding teammates. Sometimes he's forcing shots out there, and also sometimes his defensive focus as well. He has certain lapses, I think, in that focus that will lead to unnecessary fouls. But I really think when you look at his game, just his athleticism and the way he's able to finish, that elite vertical and body control allows him to finish well in traffic and in transition. And I think we see more of that than we necessarily do the negatives. We always look, we're sports fans. We always concentrate more on the negatives than we do on the positives. And just like, I think like he's an active off-ball player who finds gaps in the defense for layups, dunks at times. And that's excitement for me as a player. So I think when it comes to Kelly Oubre Jr., I'm trying to find the positives more, which is why I have him at that B-.
If he plays B- ball, this team is definitely going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
If we get consistent B- ball from Kelly Oubre, Paul George who?
Yeah.
When you come back, get your spot at the end of the bench, dude. Because at least because Kelly's still a younger guy. We still we maybe still haven't seen the best of Kelly yet.
Right.
So if we can get consistent B anything Kelly, C+ Kelly.
Yes.
It's just the times where he's like, he just has these nights where he's just, he didn't eat the right breakfast or something.
Yeah.
When you're getting a good Kelly night.
Yeah. It's that tunnel vision I was talking about, seriously, where he's like just forcing stuff that shouldn't be forced at times. I completely get where you're coming from. So, all right. Next on our list here, got two more guys. This next one, Quentin Grimes. What grade would you give him and why?
His fluctuations aren't as high as Kelly's.
Yeah.
I'm still giving him a C because he's never going to be like somebody who's, leading the team in scoring or even close to leading.
I'm giving him a C-. So we're right around in the area here because, like, man, for like 2 months, it was just like, holy cow, what's this guy doing out there? What's happening? What's happening in his world?
He's but he's an efficient player. The one thing I do like about it,
that's true.
He's an efficient player. He's not jacking up crazy stuff, which is more than can be said for the previous player, who's a better player.
Right.
But
first month of the season. Like first month of the season, Quentin Grimes, we were like, oh my gosh, he is amazing. Like what is happening here with him? And I think for me, a certain expectation level got high with him because of that first month of the season. And then things kind of just came back down to reality. That's why I'm kind of maybe at that C- grade for him.
This is why I'm saying, I don't know why Grimes got the time that McCain should have been getting.
Right.
Still should have been developing him because Grimes is that is who Grimes is, with a floor of 71 and like a ceiling of 78. I mean, that's just who he is. And not to try to diss him. That's not a bad basketball player. And anybody in the NBA can cook pretty much anybody. So who's not? So not to say he sucks at basketball or anything, but it just is who he is. He's not gonna. He doesn't have those crazy fluctuations like Oubre does.
Right. All right. Last guy we're gonna grade here in this segment here is Trendon Watford. What do you think about Trendon Watford? What grade would you give him and why?
He's other than BJ, he's my favorite of the three.
Yeah.
I just like watching him play. Like he's one of those guys at 24-hour fitness that just know how to get buckets. And they just they don't look pretty, like
his efficiency.
But the shit is going in. I mean, and that's
I don't care how it goes in, just get it in. Yes.
On any night, Watford can give you 15. I mean, it's cool. I like it. I got to give him like a good C-.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of feel like stuff is lucky when he starts cooking, but but it's fun. So like,
it is.
I cheer for it, but I think it's fun because I have not developed expectation. If I start thinking that I need 12 from Watford a night, I feel like I'm gonna start getting disappointed. So I just want to keep him fun. So I keep him in that low, that mid-low 70s, for me.
I think it's a perfect grade. Yes, it is a perfect grade. I'm right there with you, buddy. But it is fun to watch him, right?
It is.
And that's what we want from Sixers basketball. We want some fun. And damn it, Trendon Watford's giving it to us.
He is.
For
is.
Sure.
He is.
Folks, really quick, before we get into our last topic, going to take another real quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish things up with how this team is going to remain relevant from now until the beginning, or to the end of the season here. Stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with our good buddy, Matt Rogers from the Honorable Mention podcast. And my friend, to close us out here, I mean, the Sixers, yes, they did have a rough couple of games before the All-Star break here, but we're, of course, hoping that these guys are going to get back to their winning ways this coming week and, make a real run in the East in whatever shape and form that may come. They're number 6 in the East as we are recording this right now, and I don't think a lot of us thought that they would be in this position as the season was starting. I think they've met expectations and then some in various ways, and we've talked about some of those various ways within our discussion here. But how do you think the Sixers need to perform? What do they performing down the stretch here, and what do they need to do to remain relevant and even consistent throughout the rest of this season to the point where they really could make the playoff run we were talking about before? Listen, I hate saying Eastern Conference Finals, but the fact that it could be a possibility makes me happy. So what are your thoughts here on how they really need to remain relevant and consistent here throughout the rest of the season?
I think the, a couple different things here, but the first one, I'll get the cliche one out of the way: health and luck. Right. They really could go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, or they could get bounced in round 1 because they're right now kind of teetering on that play-in, and that means 1-2 game playoffs. So right. I think the key right now is centering Maxey as option 1 in the offense. I think over the last couple of weeks, it's been fun to watch Joel continue to cook, and we still want to let Joel go ahead and get his 25, 27. But everything's got to go through Maxey, because we can book it that Maxey pretty much, hey, knock on wood, that he'll be around. And so we got to keep the offense consistent so that when we don't have these crazy fluctuations, guys getting off, getting rusty, the roles changing, the offense changing completely. I think Maxey's got to be a hot Maxey is the ticket to beyond round 1. The other thing is the Sixers have a really favorable schedule down the back half.
That's a good point. Yeah.
23rd out of 32 of strength of schedule. So they'll probably miss that play in. But it's all going to be about the health of Embiid, and how hot Maxey can get. We need Maxey. And right now, I mean, I just want to speak to how well Maxey is playing, because his numbers this year are comparable, if not better, than what Allen Iverson did during his MVP season. Yeah. With Maxey just 2 points fewer than Iverson had that season, more assists, more rebounds, more steals, higher field goal percentage, higher 3-point percentage, high free throw percentage, playing fewer minutes per game. So Maxey's playing really well with another superstar on the team. I think we just got to ride the lukewarm hand. He's cooled off a little bit. Let's get him back hot. That's the ticket for me.
Yeah, I am hoping that this team. We all know the third quarter narrative at this point. It's just absolutely incredible how this team just folds in the third quarter. It's been a narrative for quite some time, but I really think the defensive rebounding is going to be so important. I think the Sixers are like 28th in the league in defensive rebounding at this point. It may not burn the team all the time, but continually allowing the opposition to have extra bites at the apple, is going to bite back eventually.
You can watch basketball at any level.
Yes.
You can watch
Yep.
4 and 5, 8-year-olds play. The team that's given up extra offensive, too many, because they're all giving up extra offensive rebounds, but the one that gives up more
Yep.
is the team that's losing.
Exactly. The defensive rebounding just has to be better. And I think if it is going to pay dividends for this team. And it may sound a little bizarre, maybe a little hokey for people. Okay, yeah, this is obvious, Jeff. Well, yes, it's obvious, but this team is not good at it. If they even become average, you're looking at more possessions. You're looking at more scoring opportunities. And it's just, it seems common sense, but I don't think it's a storyline that gets talked a lot about. And I think the defensive rebounding, if it shapes up, this team is actually going to win more games down the stretch. And I think inevitably have more confidence heading into a postseason.
And it dovetails with what I was saying earlier about a Dembona. They could use him on the floor more because he is great. It's not that he's not good at rebounding. You can't play him because he's not a threat.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. And what a great conversation here, folks. We're going to wrap things up again. Matt Rogers from the Honorable Mention podcast. My friend, it's always great talking to you. Seriously. Absolutely love having you on. Folks, search out the Honorable Mention podcast, the Philly Sports Podcast on YouTube. Listen to that great podcast on whatever podcast platform you may be listening to us on right now. My friend, any final thoughts before we head out?
No. Go play this. We can't play it on here. Go YouTube it. Go play the song after this show. It'll vibe real good.
Oh, my gosh, it will be. Oh, my gosh. I need to play it. I need to play
the damn song.
Yes. All right, folks, that's it. We will catch you next time.